Hey, welcome to my basement, everybody. I've got a great friend in the basement with me today. It's Jose Don Fubar Sanchez. We had such a great time on last week's show, and I thought about this consequential week for video games. And I had to reach out to Foobs and say, would you come back on and let's talk about all the things that happened this week? But
Yep.
Foobs, how you doing, buddy? How's your week been?
Doing all right, man. I've been doing a lot of skull and boning. I guess I don't know if that's
Um,
what you would call it.
you can say that, sure.
Diving into hell. Just getting back to games. It's been a hot second since I've actually had some time to dive back into games. So it's been
Yeah,
fun to like dive back into games. I was gonna stream and then I was like, for Skull and Bones, I feel like I want to take my time,
get
sail the
used to it again.
seas.
Yeah. Have you played that? You've played that before, right?
Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
No.
You've never played it, so you're just experiencing it for the first time. How do you feel, sort of getting onto the water and cruising
Like
around as a pirate?
the Pirates of the Caribbean song, like A Pirate's Life for Me. I don't know if a
Yo
pirate's
ho.
I don't know if a pirate's life is for me. I don't know. I don't know.
It's about the friendships, I think, with that game. It's like you really need to kind of party up and have a good time with other people.
Yeah.
What I do like about every experience I've had with Sea of Thieves, because I
No,
haven't
Skull
always
and
been
Bones,
able,
not Sea of Thieves.
or
That's
oh,
why I
Skull and
haven't.
Bones.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes. Geez,
The
of
new thing
course.
that we're playing.
Yeah. Yes,
The
which
thing
I
that we're
haven't
playing,
played.
Vic.
Yes, I I haven't even touched that game because of all
Yeah.
the stuff. I've been
Remember when you
playing
reached
Final
out and was
Fantasy.
like, Foobs, do you want to play some Skull and Bones? And I said, yeah, Vic, I want to do that. That's what I've been doing.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. Yes. Well, that's I think the common problem with Skull and Bones is that everybody's gonna call it Sea of Thieves.
Well, because they were kind of announced at the same time, and then Skull and
I
Bones disappeared. And then I was like, I don't
yeah.
know if it's ever coming out. It's like
I
the
mean that
Beyond Good and Evil 2,
that
you know?
mistake I just made is it says
Is
it all,
exactly the
doesn't it?
problem. That's the
It
problem.
says it all. Yeah. No, I
Skull and
haven't
Bones, Sea
touched
of
Skull
Thieves.
and Bones because I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's huge, and I played Mario versus Donkey Kong, and I've been playing Helldivers. So Skull and Bones is fun, but it could be more fun, is what you're
You'll
saying.
see.
I'll see.
We'll
Gotcha.
review it. We'll review it.
Yes.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we are going to review it. So I haven't touched it yet. So spoilers, I don't know anything about it. So I can't wait to play it. But
Clearly.
right now I'm with my posse. I'm with Cloud and Barrett and Tifa and Aerith and having a great time with Rebirth. But talk to me about your experience with Helldivers 2 because I have played that. That's been another game that I've been playing. I can't
Um,
believe how busy it is right now.
hey,
Like it's so stupid.
I mean, it's a terrible problem to have, also
Yeah.
sort of a good problem to have.
Oh, it's a
The
great
the,
problem. It
the
just feels like
first,
the carryover from 2023. It's like it's never ending, like this barrage of experiences. That's why we're also talking about all these new announcements this week as well. But
yeah,
Helldivers 2, what'd you think?
yeah. Well, it took me a few days to be able to play it, just because
Oh, right.
I
Yeah.
couldn't get on. The servers were busted. The servers
Yeah.
were packed. 400,000 or 500,000 people trying to play this game all at the same time.
Yeah.
The little bit I played it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay.
Luckily I randomly posseed up with some random guy who was just a level 10, and I was like, bro, you know what to do. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go around and shoot these bugs Starship Trooper style and just Johnny Rico these fools. You go
The
ahead and you open up all the doors and do all the things that you know we're supposed to be doing. Me, I'm just like, I don't know,
the
just going around shooting
community
things.
is amazing in this game. Like
Yeah.
the way that people kind of share their knowledge and have some patience. I did get booted by some higher level people the other day. They had enough of me, they stumbling into alien eggs and shit and shooting at the wrong thing, and then we're getting swarmed. And then we got back to the ship, and then they went boop, and they kicked me out. And
You have
it's
been
like I
booted
totally understood.
from
I
the
totally
server.
understood. But I love the goddamn game. It's so
Yeah.
good. And I didn't
It's
expect it at all. I started streaming it last week and I'm like, oh my God, this game is a blast.
Yeah, it
It's
just
so
goes to show
freaking
you that
fun.
like it's not the most over polished thing, but
No,
it's fun to play when you get in with a good. It's the same thing with kind of like Skull and Bones. Like if you get in with a good crew, you can have a lot
yeah,
more fun, or a crew
right.
that will sort of take you under their wing or sail, whatever it is.
It's
Um,
very hard to play Helldivers 2 alone. It's
yes,
it
yes.
is
I was trying to
so
do, and I was
hard.
like, the first game I jumped in, I was like, there's a little cone thing. I was like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. I got a
And then
thing. I'm like,
they come and they're relentless. And you know what I'm really appreciative of with Helldivers 2 is the AI on the bugs is so realistic and so rewarding. Like you'll see those little ones that are just eating or scurrying around, and then they see you and their
yeah.
ears flap up like that, and they just look at you, and then they call their buds and they start. It's like so
And then
freaking
it's like,
terrifying.
get some, get some.
Yeah, and the sense
That
of humor with that game too, like
yeah,
they just nailed it. There's a reason why it's escalating in popularity, but they announced that they've got more servers, so hopefully this weekend it's going to be easier to log on. But I'm glad you've been playing it.
yeah.
You and Bear and I have to party up
Gotta
and
get a
start
dive
playing
team.
this together. Yeah, I gotta finish Rebirth, which I don't want to rush through. I'm loving it, but there's so many other games. I mean, 2 seconds ago I was playing Tekken 8, and I can't believe the onslaught of these experiences. These are like
It's like the old
magnificent,
days.
huge games.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like that whenever you go to events and they'll be like the game's coming out in February, March. February,
Yeah.
March, game's coming out. You're like, okay, and
Yeah.
then it's February. And like, oh, all the games are coming out again.
Yeah, and
We're
I
back
don't I
at it.
don't know if we're gonna have a March like we've had a January and February, but so far
I need the time to catch up.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Helldivers is perpetual, Skull and Bones is perpetual. I think Suicide Squad is kind of done, which is so sad. I feel like it's out and like they need some kind of huge announcement to get anybody to go back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I deleted it because I can't see wanting to go. I beat the game. I just don't see why I would want to go play it again right now with all these
Touche.
other things. Had to
Touche.
make room on the PS5.
Yeah.
But this has been a week of consequential announcements. And last week we met and we talked about the business podcast that
Xbox
they put
business.
together.
Yeah, the
I
business
don't,
talk.
yeah, business unit
Xbox Biz
decisions.
Talk.
Yeah, biz
Hey
talk.
guys.
And they didn't allude to what games were coming to the other consoles, although we all knew what
Nailed
they
it.
were,
Yes.
and everybody did. It was easy to call. And then, of course, this week, all of those games were announced in a pretty inauspicious way. They're
Yeah.
just sort of shuffled into the Nintendo Partner Showcase. And then I think it was just like tweets and blog posts from PlayStation and maybe trailers popped up on YouTube. But there was no big like Xbox event to say that we're bringing some of our good games to other machines. But
Yeah.
we know what they are now. It's going to be Pentiment, which is coming to the Switch and the PlayStation 4 and 5. Hi-Fi Rush, which is coming to the PS5. Grounded, which is on Switch and PlayStation 4 and 5, by the way. And Sea of Thieves, which I think is a big one, April
Which is not
30th is
Skull
going
and
to.
Bones.
It's not Skull and Bones. It's so confusing. It's those three word names as well too,
Yeah.
right? Like people are going to be buying Skull and Bones thinking they're buying Sea of Thieves. You
You're like,
know
wait,
that's
this isn't
gonna
what I signed up for.
that's going to be happening. They're going to be in the PlayStation store and they're going to go boop, got the pirate game. No, dude. We wanted you to get Sea of Thieves, dude. That's going to happen. Oh my
Oops.
Oopsies. So Sea of Thieves is coming. That's huge. A little bit of scuttlebutt on the internet is, of course, people have data mined Hi-Fi Rush. I'm sure they're data mining all of the stuff around these games, but Hi-Fi Rush might be a Switch 2 game because apparently
Mm.
it's a little bit more robust than the Switch 1 can handle, or maybe we'll get it on the Switch 1 later or something like that. There's going to be physical releases with some of these games as well. I think Limited Run has partnered with Xbox, which is pretty
Good old
freaking
limited
rad.
run, keeping physical alive.
I think that's great. And, I think that is going to create some really interesting partnerships for retailers and for companies like Limited Run as we move more and more into this digital space. But what do you think about these games coming to the other platforms? Does it
I
piss you
mean,
off?
no, it doesn't piss me off. I mean, the more eyeballs you can get on your games, the better for the industry. I mean, that's the whole
Hmm.
point. Like, especially I feel like Sea of Thieves is well known enough, but I feel like Grounded needs to get a little bit more love.
Grounded's
It's
amazing. Such a cool
yeah,
game.
just one of those things. I feel like it went under the radar for a lot of Xbox players, and so
Yep.
again, opportunity to get more eyeballs on your game is always a good thing. Again, it goes back to the thing we talked about last week. Like, are these going to be the games that excite people about Xbox games making the transfer? Are they going to make enough, hullabaloo on the
Yeah.
other consoles to where Xbox wants to feasibly consider doing this more often? Like,
You know what? As you're talking about Grounded, I'm thinking that it's one of those games again where if you party up, it's way more fun. Like
yeah, Sea
I
of
got
Thieves too.
really yeah, I got really deep into both of those games, but I was kind of solo and I would partner up with different people because I'm on this weird reviewing schedule, right?
Yeah,
But I'm feeling we really need to come up with some kind of an EPN co-op night because every time we've done an EP gathering, whether it was that Ghostbusters game
Yeah.
or
It's always more fun to
the
play with people, especially people you know.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That are like,
yes,
it's just, yeah, because you can party up with anyone, but it's like, okay, we're doing good, me and random person. But when
yeah,
it's a group of your friends, it makes the game more fun because the banter is better and your communicating is a little bit more fun. It always makes it's like when you're playing N64, four players together in the same room. You know what I
totally,
mean? It's like,
yeah.
sure, I can play all these N64 games on my Switch online. It's not the same.
We just have to buckle down on a night and just do it. And it would just be great to just catch up with you guys. Maybe we'll stream some of them, but I think it would be really fun to just play and chat and get caught up. And we're all, doing lots of things and we're all busy with lots of things. But these games are so entrenched as a co-op experience, and they are worth that visit and that revisit and going back to them. I remember Alien Fireteam. That was a blast playing with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I
And
haven't been touched it
also
since.
I
Exo
know, and
Primal.
yeah, Exo Primal, and we streamed that whole thing, and that actually worked. Where we had everybody's window and everybody's different viewpoint on the game.
Yeah.
Taxed my PC, but it actually worked. Yeah, we definitely need to do that. I guess what we have to do is kind of plot out the types of games that we would play, and let's do it. Maybe it's every couple of weeks or something like that. But yep, I'm excited that
Mhm.
Grounded is going to be played by more people because it deserves it. It was kind of it's a double A game.
Yeah.
It's not a triple A like wow thing, but it's way better than you maybe think it is at first
Yeah.
blush. It's really cool. Lots of great mechanics in it. That whole idea of being shrunk down and the ants are huge and it's terrifying as well, which is
It's Honey,
pretty
I Shrunk the
great.
Kids.
Yeah, it
It's the
is.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game we never got.
Absolutely. Yeah. With really cool tech and Hi-Fi Rush as well. It's just a joyous experience, I had a blast playing that game. I thought it was really, really well made and so different from Tango. So I'm happy that more people are going to see that. And I think it's going to have that full-on really cool treatment from Limited Run. I think there's probably an LP and all kinds of cool stuff, which is pretty rad. So Xbox is in the multi-console game. I think that these aren't the games that really tip it's these aren't the
Yeah.
watershed
Yeah.
moments here. They're all going to do okay. But when Call of Duty numbers come back for the shareholders
Yeah.
at Microsoft that are invested into the company
Like
and, and
there's some
curious,
Helldivers numbers. You know what I'm saying? They need that game that's like unexpected, but it's just gonna blast off into space. Like there's
yes,
400,000 people playing Grounded right now at this very
yeah,
moment. That's insane.
yeah, and then press the button on
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and honestly, I don't. I know it's weird to think about it, but I think Halo's coming to PlayStation. Like I think it will. I think that there
But
will
is
be
it
a
too
point.
late? I feel like
Well,
Halo Infinite did well, but did it do the numbers like they wanted it to? You know what I mean? Like when
yeah,
Halo 2 and Halo 3 came out, the buzz behind that was insanity. Like it was just people were, oh, I need more. And then we got
yeah.
Reach, and people were like, oh, then you got
I don't know if that property has the cachet that it had before. It's not really about that. I think it's just a perception thing, and I think that Microsoft is going to be a services game company like they are a services PC company.
yeah,
They want to be on every machine, and they are. I mean, they even on Macs, people have dual boot to Windows on their Macs, so they can play PC games, and that's a
yeah.
pretty common thing out there or work with PC software. So I think we're going to see that. It might take a little bit of time, but I think it's going to be this unequivocal data point for people when they see how much money these games are going to bring in on other machines, especially the PlayStation. I mean, it's got a huge install base. It's continuing to grow, and honestly, it helps out everybody because if Xbox stuff is on PlayStation, then they're going to sell more PlayStations because people are going to go, oh, I can play all these Xbox games on this thing now. And if people buy more PlayStations and they see that the Xbox stuff is available on Game Pass on Xbox, they're going to go, oh, well, maybe I should invest in Game Pass. There's going to be a
Yeah.
contingent that does that. And then there's going to be, tons of money coming into Xbox as the biggest game publisher on earth with all of these different developers. And they're going to say, well, these investments are converting and we're making our money back and some. let's keep doing it. Let's keep throwing money and building, new properties and new studios and finding new ways to reach people. So I think it's wins all around. And I think the question becomes when Helldivers 2 is on Xbox,
Yeah.
which it seems like that should happen.
Yeah. I
Don't you
mean,
think?
you would think that give and take, guys. Let's share. But then
Yeah.
when does it get to the point where like, well, this stuff's just coming out on PlayStation. I don't need an Xbox. I could just wait.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that are like that. I mean, I think it's
Of
going to
course,
be
there
like,
already is.
yeah, and but I think the brand loyalty thing is going to be more about like a television set or a computer brand,
Yeah.
than than or the spec choice, like I like the specs better on this gaming thing than this
Yeah.
gaming thing, than it is going to be
I like the
about
way the
the
Xbox looks on my desk compared to this giant PlayStation 5.
totally, which are all valid. I mean, those are all drivers to consumer choice and have been all the way along, the video game industry has just been really good at creating clubs, and creating this animosity to fuel marketing. And it's a competitive business, like every business, but it's not only a competitive industry, but it's about selling competition.
Yeah.
The games are competitive themselves, and it's always been like that. And I think that sort of pitting these
You're
companies,
playing that on the Genesis? It's better on the Super
yeah,
Nintendo. Better.
totally,
It's better.
yeah, yeah.
Fidelity
So
and
yeah,
sound is better.
I think it's that's huge news, consequential news. It's the beginning of the floodgates being open, I think,
Of
from Xbox
friendships,
and friendships. Yeah,
you know?
I hope so. Well, we've got another huge thing that was announced this week, and I think it's equally consequential, and that's the PlayStation VR 2. In a blog post, Sony announced that new games are coming to PSVR 2. Um, Consequentially, not any big first party PlayStation games, which is kind of crazy at this point. Like, where's a Spider-Man or Last of Us or, Uncharted VR experience, or a God of War VR experience? That would be crazy, right? It'd be incredible. Uh,
Or like,
yeah, well, they're not.
don't bother me. I'm playing God of War in VR.
you get you get Arnold Schwarzenegger in the headset. You do that. That'd be great. Yeah, well, that's not happening. I wish we were announcing that, but we are announcing something. Well, we're not announcing it. We're
We are.
relaying the news. We are announcing it. But the PSVR 2, which when I reviewed it last year for the first time, this is one of the things that I said is that it should be PC compatible. Well, in 2024, it will be. So you're going to be able to connect it to your PC. And what do you think about that, my friend? Good move on Sony's part?
I wish they would have did that with the PSVR 1 because I don't have the PSVR 2.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like an obvious choice. Like you have PlayStation moving some of their bigger titles to the PC. It's only fitting that we take VR, which blew up on the PC itself, into the
Yeah.
PC realm as well. Will I only be able to utilize my PSVR 2 library on my PC, or will I be able to play all of the PC
They won't
VR?
lock it down.
You know what I'm
That would
saying?
be
Like that would be
that
dumb.
would be
But
that would be
it's
terrible.
it's kind of like what they did with PSVR 1. Like all that stuff I can only play on the PSVR 1. I can't even play it on my PSVR 2. Lame, like great.
I know. Well, that was kind of a development choice more than, the developers just deciding they had moved on to other things. They could have invested, or Sony could have kicked them money to invest in
It's just
porting.
it's Sony just lacking on their backwards compatibility once again. It's
Well,
literally
I agree, but I think there was something technologically that was very different with the PSVR 2 and its control interface and everything. So it wasn't just
but isn't it
a
VR? It's like VR, right? How?
yeah, and there were games that were brought over. Yes, very confusing. Like Iron Man and Star Wars Squadrons, which would have been two great, improved and enhanced PSVR 2 launch titles, should have been there. You can't even play those games on PSVR 2. Well, now you'll be able to play Squadrons at least. I don't know if they ever made an Iron Man for PC, but that's one of the best VR games, by the way. It's excellent on Oculus Quest, and it's excellent on PSVR 1, although on the Quest, you don't get tangled up in the wire. And PSVR 2, you're still going to have to contend with that cable, but you're going to get unbelievable fidelity. And to be able to play games like Half-Life Alyx on the PSVR 2 is going to be amazing. It's got that beautiful field of view and the eye tracking and everything. I don't know if they're going to take advantage of all that technology with the PC software, but it's there if developers want to access it, which would be great. I think honestly though, the most compelling thing about PSVR 2, the controllers are excellent, but the fit and the comfort of the headset is really remarkable. It's very light on your head, doesn't really put a lot of pressure on your face or anything like we're seeing out of the Apple Vision Pro or even to some extent the Quest
Yeah.
experiences. They've got that Halo kind of fit. You can aftermarket fix the Quest line though. You can buy better straps and headsets and stuff to make them more comfortable, to make them kind of like the PSVR 2. But out of the box, you get pretty fantastic hardware with the PlayStation VR 2. And Half-Life Alyx is still, I think, the best VR game that's ever been made. Star Wars Squadrons on PC is something else. And, to sit down and be able to play that in your PSVR 2 headset with maybe a flight stick or something is going to be insane. Use that same tech to play Microsoft Flight Simulator. Going to have a great time with that. There's games like Lone Echo. It's not as big as I would hope, though. That's the thing. There's a lot of VR stuff, and I'm sure you've noticed this, which is kind of like the Wii days, where there was a lot of experimentation with the motion controls and people having creative ideas, but maybe they're not full-fleshed out, like Squadrons is amazing. Did you play Squadrons ever in VR?
No.
Oh my God, man. That is, I totally recommend that. Yeah, that and that's a game.
I got my PS4 hooked up with my my PlayStation VR 1 right there. So
you should do it. Yeah, because it's a PS4 game. You should totally do it. And that's how I played through the game, was on the PlayStation 4 through PSVR, because I had it on the Oculus Rift. It hooked up and it was problematic. Like it wasn't working for me. But the PSVR 1 on PS4 was seamless, even if it was a little grainy. It's amazing. Like it really is. So I think to have that super clean fidelity on the PSVR 2, that's really, really cool and a great value add. Now, that's assuming that everybody that's got a PS5 has got a VR kit that can handle these games.
Yeah.
But that's a great value add. And it's in much the same way. That's what makes the Quest 3 irrefutable. Like it's such a great value at $500 US. And you can link it up to your PC.
$3,000. I can just play it like this.
Yeah. I can't wait to check out the Apple Vision Pro. Like I really want to try it, but it is amazing watching the reviews talking about how heavy it is and that there's not a lot of apps but I don't know. Like it definitely looks like first gen technology from Apple, but it also looks like the coolest headset technology we've ever seen too.
I wish they would have just I feel like it's an Apple Vision.
Yeah.
It's not Pro yet. Call it Pro right off the gate. Rough, man. That's like we're getting the Pro version. This is it. So like, are they going to come down? Are they going to come out with a dumbed down version of it later? That's going to be cheaper and more manageable for people that only want to spend like $1,000 or $1,500. That doesn't have like
I think so.
Right? Because it's the Pro. This is the Pro. You can't go Pro Plus. It's not going to be Apple semi Pro. They're going to be
I think they're gonna because it is a pro in the pro category, and they do want to appeal to the consumer stuff. The software has to come first, so that's kind of what the device is, the Pro, right? And you know what, it is a very hard sell to justify that price. But all of this talk, all of this discussion that Apple, just by entering this space, right? Like Quest was really out there alone in terms of hitting as many people as it has been hitting. And it's still, it's cool that the Vision Pro kind of pushes people to the Quest 3 and people are buying that now thinking, oh, I've got the much better value. But it's also cool that people are trying the Quest 3 and then looking at what the Vision Pro is offering and thinking about where this can all go, And so I think the category is getting more interesting, even if the products aren't quite there yet, but we're getting some really cool stuff. I am the one thing that I definitely think about though is the putting the headset on and just being apart from everybody, and being the only one in an office space with a headset on, or you're just
Yeah.
in my case, in my basement by myself with my headset on. I feel separated from my family, just playing Final Fantasy on my PlayStation 5 for hours and hours, let alone having a headset on by myself down here by myself, for hours.
Waves, and then
Lost in
all of you
virtual
guys in the
space.
family get one, and then you're all just like,
Oh my God. I don't know if that's Apple's vision. Is that what they want?
that's
Is that
the
what
Apple Vision Pro. That's
do they want us all to have these things on all the time?
I mean, why else? Like, you look at your Ready Player Ones, man. This is like,
Yeah.
I want. That's what it's gonna be. You're gonna be like on your little omnidirectional pad, running around your
Just
world, and
just in time for all of us to just create our own entertainment in AI.
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
just
there it is.
just we'll build our own movies, our own 3D movies in AI, and then we'll just watch them, and
Right?
then
It's like, oh,
and play our own AI games.
is the furniture in your house terrible? Throw on your headset and decorate your house. Cool. I want this couch. Like, my house looks like trash now, but when I put the headset on, it's clean.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Dishes are done, man. Like, I don't have anything
Oh
to
yeah.
worry.
I mean, it's so easy to think of these tangible, well, not intangible, but this facade of cool things. I imagine like these action figures that I have back here. You wear a cool Vision Pro headset, and they're moving, and
And
they're
they start
having little
fighting.
yeah, and they have
Yeah.
little scenes behind me.
Like, you have Batman next to your Joker figure and they just start beating the shit out of each other. You're like, what? Guys, I'm trying to work. Guys, I'm doing a video. I'm doing a video. Stop fighting.
That would be huge. All right, well, Hi-Fi Rush coming to the PlayStation 5, but people dug into the data and they saw that it's not coming to the Switch, but it might be coming to the Switch 2. And the other kind of big sort of scuttlebutt this week is that the Switch 2 has been delayed to 2025. One of the explanations that I've heard about that is that Nintendo is readying a game, and conceivably it could be a new Mario 3D experience attached to the game, because Nintendo rarely releases one of these things until the game is ready. And Nintendo also takes its time with its games,
Yeah,
as
they
we
do.
know.
And their
Um,
consoles. People have been asking for the Switch 2 for the last 5 years.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's,
Do
the
you
Switch
think
has
it's
been
a
out for
bad
2 years, guys. We should
Yeah.
get the Switch 2 on deck.
Well,
I remember
the
talking about
Switch,
this in 2020. You're like,
I
guys, it's almost
know.
time for that Switch 2.
I know. I know. Well, the Switch launched and it was right out of the gate, it was less powerful than the other stuff that was out there. But man, it's proven itself. It's my favorite machine. It's an
That's what
incredible
Nintendo
console.
does, man. That
Yeah.
Nintendo knows what the hell they're doing. That's why we're going back to the conversation we had about all the layoffs from all these other companies that are putting so much money. You never hear
Right.
about Nintendo laid off a quarter of their staff because they're
No.
taking their sweet ass time making their next Metroid game. You're like, no,
Yeah.
they're good. They're like, guys, we'll
Yeah.
do what we need to do. We'll get
So
everything done.
you don't think it's a mistake? You're not concerned about this thing
No,
being
because I
delayed?
feel like I've been waiting for it for so long. When they release it, it's going to be like, yeah, there
Yeah.
it is. And it's going to be like, guys, it's in 4K.
Yeah.
Finally. Like, yeah, they've done it.
And
We're
well, it
going
won't
to be
be
moving on to
4K.
PlayStation 6 and the Xbox next
Yeah.
2. It's going to be in 8K. And they're going to be like, shit.
No, I don't think we're going to be getting 8K games for a
I feel
while.
like I'm not saying we're going to get the games in 8K, but the systems need to be able to. If we're gonna move up from 4K, what are you gonna do? Just give us another 4K console? Like, that's what these things do already. It's got to be compatible and ready for it. Just it's not. It's not
I
there yet.
think we need to get to 120 frames per second, kind of locked with 4K, with ray tracing on. There's no more fidelity and performance mode. That might be what the PS5 Pro is, and there's a lot of speculation that we're getting that this year, which seems a bit crazy in the face of the news that the PlayStation 5 is not below its sales expectations, and for Sony to come out with another console, knowing that it's just going to carve up the marketplace. People are going to decide which way they're going to go, and most of the adopters on the PS5 Pro are going to be PlayStation 5 One owners already. So they'll maybe offload their PS5s or
PlayStation
whatever.
5.1. 5.1.
Yeah, I don't think we really need a PS5 Pro, although I am excited about
pretty pro. It's pretty pro.
The PS5 is pretty rad, and they're, we haven't had to open the floodgates on the software that takes full advantage of it yet. We've got lots of games now for it, but it isn't like that it isn't like the end stages of the PS4 or the end
Yeah.
stages of PS3, you know?
And I think too, like you have to cater towards the streaming community. Like you can't even stream. Like again, going back to when I first got my Xbox Series X and my PlayStation 5, like I didn't even look at the games in the highest of graphical fidelity because I was streaming every game I played, and I couldn't have the experience of doing that because you can't stream on Twitch unless it's in a certain fidelity rate. You
Right,
can't,
right. Yeah.
so I was like, wow, when I turned on, Spider-Man on my PS5 in the highest on the big TV when I wasn't streaming, I was like, this is what this game is supposed to look like. Holy shit. Like, that was my PS5 Pro experience. Like, yeah,
Your
like
PS4 Pro experience, yeah.
yeah, my PS5 Pro. Like I was just playing it with just it's got all this equipment and that's available to play these games in this beautiful rendition of this game.
Yeah.
And I've just been playing it in 1080p and whatever because like if I'm streaming it, you can only stream in certain settings.
Yeah. Does your TV go up to 120 hertz? Do you have one of those variable frame rate ones?
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't need to spend the money because I'm playing. I'm playing my games on this screen. I'm watching you on.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you stream in 120 and 120 frames per second on Twitch yet? I don't think you can.
I don't think
that's a very good point, Foobs. I think a lot of people, a lot of people are playing their games at
and not even highest quality.
Yes, for Twitch. And the other inverse on that is a lot of people are going to start streaming their games, and that whole way of thinking, like I need to have this high-end hardware to see this stuff at its best fidelity, might start to shift away as well. I don't know if there will ever be streaming at 120 frames per second. I think people are like in terms of streaming in a game.
Yeah.
But you got to think very smart people are trying to bend the laws of physics to try to make that happen right now. But the PS5 Pro, I think, is going to be a little tougher sell than the PS4 Pro was. I think this year is too soon for a PS5 Pro. Yeah, I think next year maybe.
I skipped the PS4 Pro.
You did, eh?
Yeah. I was like, well, the PS5 is going to be coming. Like, I'm not going to buy another PlayStation that's a little bit more powerful.
You know what? I bought one. Because I'm covering all this stuff. So I bought one and I wanted to just kind of see. And I did notice the improvements, but it was a bit of a tougher sell. But then I bought another one when they made the Spider-Man one. I didn't need it, but they made this beautiful red Spider-Man one. I went, yep, I've got that. So it's sitting over there and I love it. You can
just get a faceplate for your PlayStation 5.
I bought the PS5 Spider-Man one. I did that, and I gave my other one to Ruby, and so she's the luckiest 12-year-old in the world with a PS5 that she's playing on. Yeah, but I think it'll be kind of nuts if we get a PS5 Pro before we get a Nintendo Switch 2, and that might be exactly what happens. I, like you, am not concerned if the Switch 2 comes out next year, though. And one of the things that I'm thinking is that we're going to get Metroid Prime 4 this fall, and it will be an enhanced version on Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah.
Actually, would it make sense for them to do that? I don't think they'll release it early.
I don't think they would.
Yeah.
I think they'd wait.
They'll release it for both at the same time.
When it launches, it's going to be like, you get a new Mario, you get Metro. It's going to be like, what are they delivering on this launch day? Because when the first Switch came out, we had Zelda. That was all I played. It was like, there's other stuff.
On the Wii U, though, as well. So I think they're going to do exactly the same thing. I think Metroid Prime 4 will be a Nintendo Switch game because that's what they announced it for. And it will also be a Nintendo Switch 2 launch game, and it's going to look beautiful. It's going to look staggering on that machine. I think it'll be a 4K system when you plug it in, and it will be a 1080p system. And the rumors are that it's an 8-inch LCD screen, which is a step back, and I hope that there is an OLED version at launch.
Switch 2 Pro.
Well, maybe it's $100 more, but it's hard for Nintendo to like pull that OLED away from people if they've already made that leap, you know?
Yeah.
But they can. I mean, Nintendo does all that stuff. We're all going to be fired up for whatever they've got to release. Different world that they're entering in now, though, than with Nintendo Switch 2. Like, it was such an influential machine. Steam Deck 2 will probably have at least specs out there or speculation. There's rumors that the ROG Ally 2 is the announcement of that is imminent. Like, we're going to get one soon, like this summer, probably.
They'll announce it this week.
That's the way this year's been going so far. And then there's all these other ones. We've got the MSI Claw that's coming out and the Lenovo Legion and there's like so many handheld powerful little machines out there. And not to mention all the ones that the sort of smaller companies are releasing. It feels like every week we're getting new ones. So it's a totally different marketplace than and than Switch One was, but also PC now has all the Xbox and almost all the PlayStation games. And because of Helldivers 2 being so successful, guess what? I think PlayStation is going to go, every game we make now will also launch on the PC at the same time. Why wouldn't they, right?
I mean, it's all computers, right?
They're all
At
computers.
the end of the day, they're all
Yeah.
computers. You can
Well,
make
and
it play whatever you want, guys. Come on, just make it work. Make it
totally.
work.
They're all. I mean, that's what they're doing. But they're all computers. But they're also just buckets of money that is sitting there on the table. Like Helldivers 2 might end up being the most profitable thing
Game of
that
the year.
PlayStation makes this year, right?
Game of the year. But will we remember it by the summertime?
I don't know.
Does it have the legs? Like, is it going to be those things? Because a lot of the times when you get to the end of the year awards, people forget about what happened early on in the year. You know what I mean?
We're
Because
still
getting all
talking
these.
about Destiny, bro. You know,
I mean, Destiny is like that's Destiny though. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is it's like
Yeah.
PC, Xbox, PlayStation. That's already there.
Yeah.
This is one of those things. Like, is this just like it's hitting right now? Are we still? Is there still going to be 400,000 people on the servers in a month, 2 months?
I don't know.
They
I don't
don't
know.
need it.
That's
Good on
the
them.
challenge with live service.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. And yeah, by the nature of that, by the nature of this perpetual, persistent kind of game design, you kind of take it for granted a little bit. And I think it's these story-based adventures that we go on that are limited in their scope and their time commitment that they ask of you, that have that emotional impact that stays with you and you think about it,
Yeah.
and they stay in your brain and you reflect on them. But these perpetual games, they're sitting right there because you can just go to them anytime and jump right in, and they're also designed to onboard you no matter how you approach them. If you have a huge gap, but you haven't played it for a long time, but you jump back in, it's still there. If you play it every day, it's there for you.
Yeah.
If you are brand new to them, you're still in
It's a
for
good thing.
fun.
That's a good thing about jumping into Destiny 2 now. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Your character's gonna be weak, but there's gonna be so much more awesome stuff out there for you to pick up right now.
Totally. Yeah.
It's like,
totally.
why am I grinding so early on when the game is launched? I can just wait until later on, and then I'm getting all this great stuff very fast, very quickly.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. Destiny's a juggernaut. I think some wind in the sails has gone out, all the layoffs at Bungie and I think I haven't played the last DLC, but I don't think it hit with the way that they were expecting. They've got that next one, the Final Shape, that's coming out, I think, this summer. And I feel like the percolation is there. The idea of what's next is starting to kind of happen within Bungie, and maybe it's a Destiny 3 after the Final Shape, or they go somewhere else. I would love for a Kumbaya moment. I know this is insane, but I would love a Kumbaya moment between Xbox and PlayStation, and they partner up the Halo universe with the Destiny universe, and so they blend it all in and let Bungie just go to town with that. I think that would be right. They do exactly what you're doing right there. For those that are listening, Foobs' head is exploding over and over again. Which is awesome. All right, well, since we're going to be waiting for Nintendo Switch 2 for a while, Nintendo's got a lot of stuff that they have to fill their calendar with, and it looks like there's some big stuff. Well, relatively large. It isn't, as we were discussing just before we started to roll on this, it isn't like it's not Super Mario Wonder large or Tears of the Kingdom large, but there are some games that Nintendo announced at its partner showcase this week. I picked out a bunch that I dig. Was there one that caught your eye the most, Foobs, out of the stuff that we saw?
I mean, there wasn't anything that was like a uppercut to the jaw, like it's cool to see Ender Lily's sequel. Like, I was high on that game when it first came out.
You're the one that told me about it.
You know, and I was
Yep.
like, rightfully so.
The,
Now we're getting a sequel.
the new one's called Ender Magnolia, and it
Yes.
comes out later this year. It does look beautiful.
We've had the lilies, now we get the magnolias, keeping it in the flower fam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
The rare stuff coming to the classics, the N64 stuff, and I mean, like, but we were talking about it again. Like, just give me that rare replay or rare replay 2
Yeah.
on the Switch. Like, hey, that would be
Yeah.
pretty damn cool to see.
I tweeted that, and somebody I should have called up the tweet, and somebody replied that the Xbox 360 software running on the Switch would take some work, but I think it could be done. And the thing,
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely correct. I love that they're a part of the Nintendo Switch Online experience. I advocate for that big time. I think that if you get that subscription, you are in for a ton of value. And I love that you can, search through all of these different channels, basically these retro console channels, and you have all of the software there. I love that Blast Core you can play on your Switch now. That's such a weird, obscure, fantastic, rare game for N64.
That was a hitter.
And
That was a hitter.
that was a great game. And
Jet Force Gemini.
Jet Force Gemini is on there as well. What's missing, Conker's Bad Fur Day for sure, but we're missing Diddy Kong Racing, a juggernaut, and that's not in rare replay. That was the best racing game for my money on the N64.
Could you imagine if they released Diddy Kong Racing on the Xbox 360?
Well, that's what they should do. That's not on the Xbox, on the Xbox Series X, you mean? Yeah, on the new Xbox. Yeah, Nintendo and Xbox they're working together. That's exactly what they should do. They should GoldenEye it. GoldenEye isn't in rare replay either, and it didn't run great on Nintendo Switch. So I'm thinking that a rare replay enhanced for Switch with all of the stuff that was on the Xbox, but they also throw in Diddy Kong and they throw in Donkey Kong 64. They could just add some
exclusive Nintendo stuff to the rare replay Switch version, like they did with the Minecraft Mario stuff.
Yes.
Like, come on, guys, let's
and then they throw it on Xbox, and it's not on Game Pass. You have to buy it as DLC for the existing rare replay customers and the Game Pass subscribers, and Nintendo gets the money, and then everybody's happy, and Rare is celebrated fully. I know it's
as
nuts
they should
to think of
Where's my Viva
Kong
Pinata, guys? Where's my Viva Pinata sequel?
Well, Viva Pinata is on. It's on rare replay. Yeah, so
I know, but I want the sequel. I'm talking about a new one. I want a new one.
Yeah, totally.
I'm ready for some new Viva Pinata.
Yeah, a new one. Yes,
absolutely. VR Pinata, where it's all.
Well, they're working on what the hell is their rare game? I forget the name of it. It looked a little like fairies.
Perfect Dark.
No, they moved on from Perfect Dark. No, it's not Cameo. They've got a new game. I forget the name of it. I keep thinking Fable, but Fable is over with the Playground Studios.
Electric,
but yeah, Rare is working on something epic. I can't wait to see what they've got.
Epic,
but not epic. Yeah, geez, you can't throw the word epic around. You can throw it around though at some of the games that are in this partner showcase. One of the ones that was a nice surprise is the Star Wars Battlefront collection. It's coming to Nintendo Switch with
shout out to Pandemic.
Yeah, man. I think I might reach out to some friends from Pandemic.
Yeah, it's funny. Just mentioned them at the last stream. We just talked about Pandemic at the last stream, and then all of a sudden, hey guys, remember what we worked on? Remember the OG Battlefronts?
Those were so amazing. And our segments on those were just killer, man. Those were so fun to do.
Jeff Keighley signing off
we threw Jeff into the maelstrom. It was awesome. If you've never watched those, hit our YouTube channel and search Star Wars Battlefront.
There'll be a link here.
Yeah. Check those out. They're super fun. So we're going to get the Star Wars Battlefront collection. Those will also be on the other consoles as well. So it's going to be available for everybody. I think those are an insta-buy. Those games are amazing. They had lots of great meat for just playing and screwing around as a single player. But if you get online and play,
and they got
those are some of my favorite memories. Yeah, I think so.
Some Kit Fistos or.
Yeah, Kid Fisto and Asajj Ventress is in there. Those are some of my favorite online memories, though. I remember playing with viewers of our television show on Xbox Live, and I jumped in. We were on Endor, and I jumped into an ATST, and I was just going to town on everybody, and I was just cackling. I was just like, "Oh my god, I found the cheat code, man! I'm just crushing everybody." I was having so much fun. So that's one I'm looking forward to. Another Crab's Treasure, which was like this indie thing that
Yeah,
was
it's like a
pretty
Souls-like
popular.
crab game where you
Yeah.
get different shells.
It looks like a,
Hmm.
like a rare kind of, like
Yeah.
rare entertainment kind of
It
Souls-like,
looks like
which is
it
pretty
looks like
cool.
it's going to be like it's going to fly under the radar a little bit, but it might be a little bit of a hit.
Might be
Could be a
good.
little
Yeah, I
bit
mean,
of a
I've
hit.
seen it. I saw it at PAX, and there was a huge line around it, and they were giving out. That's one of the things I love about PAX is that they celebrate these quote unquote smaller games in some epic ways. I think they had plushies and hoodies and all kinds of stuff, and it was on big screens. It was really cool to see.
Nice.
Fired up to play that. That's coming out April 25th. Contra Operation Galuga is imminent. This is a
Mhm.
remake from way forward of the original Contra game
Yeah.
with some extra additions. I'm going to
I like
play
to
as the
call it
robot guy.
Operation like Contra Galaga because it very do Konami games coming into
Do
there.
both.
That was Namco.
Yeah.
Was like, Galaga,
I-
Galuga, Galaga, Galuga.
Galuga. The demo's out now, but of course I've been in Final Fantasy, land, so I haven't been able to play it at all. But yeah, it looks great. I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know though. I can't
Hmm.
wait to play that. There's also a demo for Unicorn Overlord on Switch right now, and that comes
I
out
love
March
Unicorn.
8th. So March is loading up already. I can't wait to
Hmm.
play these games. This is from Vanillaware. It's got a Octopath Traveler kind of vibe to it, hand drawn illustrations. Looks absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to play that one. And then the one that's out right now is Penny's Big Breakaway, which is
Yeah.
developed by the people that made Sonic
Sonic,
Mania.
yeah.
And to me, this looks like Rare made a Sonic game. And I can't wait to fricking play this game. It's supposed to run really well on the Switch, but also beautifully on the Steam Deck. So I don't know which way I'm going to play it, but I'm definitely downloading this and I will stream it. And I'm psyched to play it. I loved Sonic Mania. I thought they did an amazing job with that game.
Yeah.
I think
And
that
then
I
I
think it's
mean, what about the grand finale? Come
what's
on.
that?
Endless Ocean is back.
Yeah.
500 different types of underwater creatures, including some might be mythological.
Uh,
I feel like it was a tough sell to end the event on
yeah.
Endless Ocean Luminaries or Luminous.
Yeah.
Um, but again, like I remember,
Yeah, well,
I think Ben and I reviewed Endless Ocean, and it's fun, like little game. It's like a fun experience. Is it something that's gonna like blow me away? Like having just
no.
come off of the Skull and Bones High Seas. Yeah, I was like, this game. I saw some whales in there jumping out of the ocean, all majestic. You're like, holy shit, a whale! Just
But another classic that's coming back, although it was not as grand an adventure as we hoped it would originally. That was Epic Mickey, and they're redoing it. It's called Rebrush,
rebrushing
but
it.
all I've seen of it, I think, is just the pre-rendered, gorgeous CG cinematic kind of trailer. Haven't really
Yeah,
seen what the gameplay is. It needs to run at 60 frames per second if it's an old classic game like that. They need to kind of add some more props and things to do into the world, I think. And I really hope Warren Spector's involved because that was like a passion project for him. Here was a guy that helped to fashion Deus Ex and lots of these other kind of hardcore gamer games. He's a legendary game developer. And
yeah,
then he came out and said, I've always been a huge fan of Disney. It's a total honor of my life to be able to make a Mickey Mouse game. And then it was just okay, and
yeah.
then the sequel was
It wasn't
just
very
okay.
epic, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just like
Yeah. But
Mortimer
clearly,
Mouse.
yeah, clearly there are people that have a lot of love for that, including the people at Disney, and they're seeing the value in it. So hopefully this is being done to really take advantage of the concepts. And what's
Yeah,
interesting, you brought up Helldivers 2 and how it's not like state of the art, and it doesn't really bowl you over with its fresh look.
yeah.
But it's the gameplay and it's the fun. And when I was streaming it, I kept thinking, this is like playing a PS3 game. This is like, you know, getting the
Valid.
vibe of like a really fun SOCOM type of experience, but with the, 60 frames per second and the kind of bells and whistles of modern online integration and jumping in. There's so much to mine from that era, from the Wii era, the PS3 and Xbox 360 era, where if you even just transplanted those games to modern tech, had some, refinements, had them run at 60 frames baseline, they'd be amazing and
Yeah.
load quicker. right? Because that's what we always contended with back then, were these long ass load times. But now we don't have to deal with that so much.
I will say the load times in Skull and Bones, though, pretty damn good. Just
Yeah.
wait, you'll see.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Pretty
All
good.
right.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Can't
All
get-
right. No, that's good. So I think that kind of runs through most of the big stuff that happened this week. Was there anything that I missed? Anything we didn't talk about?
Yeah, probably the biggest piece of news.
What's that?
If we're going to be talking about DLC,
Yeah. Oh my God. Right. Of course. Yes.
Elden Ring, my friend.
Oh my God. Yeah. That trailer is, you're absolutely right. My apologies, everybody.
I died 6 times watching the trailer. That's how difficult it looked. And
What's
I
it
played
called? Shadows of the
Ashen,
Erd Tree?
Yeah, Shadows of the Erd Tree. Yeah.
Shadow of the Erd Tree.
There's only one shadow. It only casts one shadow, and it's a big ass shadow.
I mean,
that guy with creepy serpent. That's like, oh man, I'm already like, again, I was like, I cannot wait to fight this guy. Yeah, I can. I'm gonna
what
have
are
to,
they
'cause
drinking over at From Software? Like, how do they design characters that
Unicorn
resonate
blood.
like that? Is it unicorn blood?
Unicorn blood.
I like their design is
Erd
just
Tree.
so across all of their games, even the mechs that they were building for Armored Core, like everything is just so fantastic. And
Yeah.
you know, in the case of these Elden Ring characters and creatures, terrifying but stunningly beautiful. Like you're looking at them
fire
going, "Oh my
lions
God."
and pouncing, and it's
Yeah,
just
there was like a
it's-
porcupine creature that sends out all of these light missiles and like just brilliant ideas. And then their designers, their conceptualists and their designers just build things that are like, I
Yeah.
know I'll never see half of these things because my play is not up to speed to get deep into
Oh,
the
man.
Elden Ring
I think
world,
I finished
but
it.
it's
I didn't,
gorgeous.
and I didn't even put. I think I finished it twice. But
Yeah.
there's people out there, countless, hundreds,
Oh, yeah.
thousands of hours into this game.
Yeah, they play it with their toe.
Yeah, right. Or like the guy
Yeah.
that beat it with like a keyboard or something. You're like not like a piano keyboard. You're like, yeah, I just function all the buttons to this,
Yeah.
and didn't get touched once. And like, God, man, to put that much time into a game to master it that well, I know
Yeah.
they're excited because they're like, oh
Is
yeah.
Is that in your favorite games of all time list?
I mean, I don't know about favorite games of all time. It was just, it's one of those things too. Like after hating on Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, and finally learning to play Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
Once you've figured out, like once you've mind melded the mechanics of how to play the games, it makes the experience that much more fun. Elden Ring was easier than the original like Dark Souls for me, but like it's one of those things when you figure it out, you feel like you've accomplished something in games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like when
Yeah.
you're playing.
I have
like,
not quite.
playing-
I've beat a ton of bosses. I haven't beat that game. I beat a ton of bosses. I'm
Yeah.
like 30 hours in, and
Oh, yeah.
and I do feel like a freaking god whenever I do beat them.
right?
But they're like I hit those walls, and it's like I don't know where to go. I can't beat this guy. I've tried him 50 times. I can't beat him, and I got
That's
90
that 50,
new games
that
have come in.
51st time. Yeah, that 51st time. It's like Melania, like the big boss from the last one. Like the let me solo you guy was just taking care of
Yeah.
it for like finally just getting in, and like I mean I streamed the hell out of it. And it's just me fighting this boss for at least an hour. And I was like, I'm gonna get the thing, and I block the thing, use this, and then this comes in, and
Yeah.
you finally do it. It's like I am so good at video games.
It's all
And then the
about
next boss
blocking.
just wipes you out. It's blocking and dodging. Again, like
Yeah.
figuring out the mechanics of how best weapons and attacks and bleed
Yeah.
and all this other stuff you can add to all the. There's just so many different nuances of the way you can attack those games that makes
Yeah.
it so much of a fun experience. Like Mario, you're running, jumping, hit the things, avoid the things. But this is like
It's very
oh,
forgiving. Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like,
Even
God,
Zelda,
Zelda-
like very forgiving, and you know those
Of
games are
course.
magical because there's so many ways. And Elden Ring has this as well, more so than I think the Souls games. And what was
Yeah.
the one that we were playing last year, early in the year? Wu.
Wu Long.
Yeah, it's like every one of those games is so precise on how you attack it, and you have to do it in that particular way.
Yeah,
Which I get and I appreciate, and I know it's
I'm still waiting to multiplayer on Wu Long.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting.
that's-
You got to beat that first
No.
boss, right?
you know how like the flood just doesn't stop, you know, and all the new things come out, and I'm like 5 hours on one boss on a thing. I'm like, I have 1,000 other things I could be playing and reviewing right now. You know, I just don't have the. I would have the patience if that was the only thing I was
You
going to
just
play.
freeze time in the world.
Yeah,
Give yourself some gameplay time.
yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. It just never ends. Yeah, so that also broke the internet, but a lot of things broke the internet this week. it
Yeah.
was, not to mention these huge games, not to mention what is currently playable and available. The other,
You got Helldivers is literally breaking the internet. You got
yeah,
all this DLC that's also breaking the internet. You got
yeah,
things,
and
crossover things that are finally coming together that nobody thought would ever happen that's breaking the internet.
Rebirth is, getting 94 out of 100 scores on Metacritic right now. I am freaking adoring it.
I
I'm
can't wait for it to be
absolutely,
finished
yes. Well,
because I haven't played any of it, any of the
oh, and
new.
and I played through Remake just before jumping into this thing again, and it's amazing to transition from one to the other because it's been 4 years, right?
Yeah.
And lots of stuff has happened. I think it might even be more than that. But anyways, it's been a chunk of time, and it's not just more. It's a full new experience, and it's really bold in its creative choices. I've been thinking a lot about Zelda. I've been thinking a lot about Elden Ring as I've been playing this, and Final Fantasy 16. But yeah, it is exceptional. And I was also absolutely staggeringly blown away by Tekken 8. I could not believe how great that game was. There's the RZ game that Limited Run put together, which is this new kind of new idea of a CDI game made in
Ooh,
2024, of like the old Legend of Zelda games that were made for the Philips CDI. I
yeah.
interviewed
Can't wait to
the
fight
creator of
some
that.
Dodongos.
Well, they made a new good version of a game like that, and I touched it, but I haven't had time to really
What's that
sink
on?
in because it's
PC?
on everything. I've got it
Oh,
on Switch, but it is on PC. Yeah, you should check that out. It's pretty cool. And what the hell? I've got another list of lots of other things that I've been
yeah, like
playing or
Skull and
that I've
Bones,
been
Vic.
looking.
Review coming soon.
I know
On the run.
Skull and Bones. That's on deck. That's on deck. Let me get through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But we're eating well. There are tons and tons of really interesting things to be entertained by. Not to mention the Avatar show just launched
Oh
and Bad
yeah,
Batch
yesterday.
just launched.
Uh-huh.
And Bad Batch season 3 is insane. I've seen 8 of the episodes. It's so incredible. Um, it's crazy. It's so tricky to stay afloat. I mean, my job is to pay attention to all this stuff and to watch and play it and review it. Dune 2 is next week.
Mm.
I can't believe how much entertainment this year has kicked off with. It's kind of
Sure.
an insane way. Like usually, and we've had some busy years, but usually it is, we ease into it. I can remember
Ease.
many seasons of our show where it was like, okay, well, we're going to be doing a lot of previews, a lot of looking ahead, a lot of
Uh-huh.
recaps on what happened last year, a lot of top 5 lists and things like. You got get some time to think, but not now. It's just like this is awesome. Look at this, play that, watch this, look at this, read
Yeah.
this. It's good.
Are you doing GDC next month?
I was gonna go, and I was gonna go, and I was excited about it, but honestly, because of all of these things, and the other thing that's happening is, and I'll be making an announcement soon. I've tweeted about it, but the classic episodes are going to be happening, and they're going to be happening in a specific way.
With Soul Patch Victor
And
Lucas?
you're going to see You're going to see all eras of Victor
Sideburns? Sideburns
Lucas.
and Soul Patch?
Sideburns are coming. The Seinfeld Kramer shirts are coming. All of those. The sweater with the band across it. Many episodes of that. Doing reviews on the run with shorts on, and the camera's looking up my shorts. That's all coming. All of our
Hopefully
goofy
they're long
stunts.
shorts.
All of our goofy stunts and figuring out how to do what we were doing, but doing it with just um, sheer joy and panic, but just having a blast. So all of that is going to come, and I'll be announcing how we're doing it. It's going to be really fun. So if you're listening to this, do me a favor and go to the YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, youtube.com/EPNTV. Subscribe it. And then every time I tweet about the classic stuff, we don't have a marketing budget to tell people to go there, but legitimately, it's a singular thing that we're doing. There is no other production company on earth that did what Electric Playground did, visiting these studios all the time. And all the legends are in the show. Miyamoto, Richard Garriott, Sid Meier, Ed Boon and John Tobias, David Perry. The list is endless of all the people that we chatted with and talked about. And all of that work is celebrated across EP.
John
And we're going to
Cena.
Yeah, we had John C. We had everybody. I mean, everybody. Yeah, there were lots and lots of people from across other industries and media. So I need help. I need help. Spreading the word and telling people, and that is going to lead to good things if lots and lots of people help me celebrate all of this stuff. So, yeah, that's all I ask of you. Make sure that you're doing that. But so I've been busy figuring that out, and I've got all of this software to look at, and I just went to Fan Expo Vancouver and had a great time, and I only went for one day, but every time I leave, it really impacts how much scrambling I have to do to kind of get back on track. And I thought about GDC. It would be great for the podcast to go there. I would get lots of interviews, but I know that travel time is really going to impact everything at that specific thing. So I am not going to go this year, but I fully intend on being there next year in a big way. And I miss everybody. I want to see everybody. I'll definitely be at Summer Game Fest, and I know that IGN Live is happening in June in Los Angeles as well. So I might be there. I might be at PAX. I might be at some of these fan expos and stuff. But I have to kind of pick the shots here about where I go, and it's all kind of dependent on all this stuff. Are you going to go to GDC?
It depends on my schedule. I mean,
Yeah.
like I got a badge. I'm all ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
But like I tried to go last year, but like I was on daddy duty and I got to go one day and that traffic just ruined it. And I got there at the end of the day. So I just
Yeah.
ended up going to like one of the Intercontinental bar and just running into a bunch of people and saying hi and hanging out with some of the
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah, that's the thing I miss the most, But unfortunately, like I can't keep up with everything on my own, I just can't keep up with everything on my own. So if I leave, I'll get content. It will be pretty fun content. But the thing that I know that people gravitate towards are my thoughts on these games.
Yeah.
They really want to know. And then the publishers that I work with, all the people that send me codes and stuff, they want to hear my thoughts on all this stuff as well.
Yeah.
And so I have to really kind of just measure it and weigh it all. But God, I miss hitting the road. I miss seeing everybody. I
Being
miss
on
doing
the
all
run.
these interviews. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we covered a lot, and there's a lot happening. 2024 is a rockin' year. Square Enix is on fire, man. Final Fantasy 16 was amazing. Rebirth is amazing. Remake is amazing if you haven't played that. But Rebirth is truly another level. I can't wait to review that. I will. And I will have you on soon. I think we have to put a little panel together to talk about all the stuff that's going on in AI. It's getting insane. But
I'm not
lots
even
of
here
other
right
things.
now. This is all AI. Everything I say, I'm just typing in. What should I say
True.
to Vic? What should I say
Right.
to Vic when he asks me about this? Say this. You will sound very intellectual. Thank you. Thanks, Chat GPT.
How much content are we going to be seeing? That's exactly that, which is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Write a
Oh,
review
man.
on this game for me.
Oh, man. Well, listen, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for listening and for watching. Let me know what you think about Vic's Basement. Give us a review if you're listening to this on an audio platform. Comment down below if you're on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Give us some follows and subscriptions. Thank you, Jose. Always great to have you on the show. We'll see you soon, everybody. And until then, play forever.